Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special video. We're going to talk about my top 10 bronzers that I have in my collection. I have 5 cream bronzers and 5 powder bronzers to recommend to you guys, and I absolutely love all of them with so much of my heart. So if you guys want to see which are my top 10 bronzers in my collection, then please keep on watching. Let's start off with the powder bronzers. First powder bronzer that I want to recommend to you guys is from Milani, and this one is called Silky Matte Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Suntan 03. This is the deepest out of the lot, so that's the only concern for me, that the deeper skin tones won't be able to use it. This works beautifully on my skin tone. It looks very natural. It has like a very soft matte finish on my skin. It's just beautiful. It blends lovely, and the shade is stunning for medium tan skin tones, and this is how it looks. I don't think I would be able to like swatch it and show it to you guys just because I am a little tan right now. So this is how Milani's suntan bronzer looks. As you can see, it's a very neutral tone bronzer, and that's what I really like about this bronzer, especially on that medium tan skin tone. It blends beautifully, effortlessly. The powder is very silky smooth, and for that reason this has been like my favorite for years now, and I absolutely still love it. Now, talking about a new bronzer in my collection that I absolutely adore is from Makeup by Mario, and this one is in the shade medium dark, and it is from their Soft Sculpt collection. This tone is unlike any other tone in my collection. It has a little bit of like yellow undertone to it, as well as like a red undertone mixed to it. I don't know, because of that yellow and red all mixed together, this is like stunning. It absolutely looks spectacular on the skin, and this is how Makeup by Mario's bronzer looks on my skin. As you guys can see, it has a little bit of like red undertone, like it's more like a pinky brown bronzer. I love it. I cannot even explain. I do not have this shade anywhere in my collection, and the way it blends on the skin is so beautiful. I absolutely love everything from Makeup by Mario that I've tested so far, and you guys have seen me recommend these products by Makeup by Mario so many times on the channel. That's only because I love it, and I would only recommend you guys the products that I love. I mean, I really want to be 100% honest to you. So saying that, let's move on to some drugstore bronzer which I absolutely love. And the third bronzer that I'm going to recommend to you guys is from Wet n Wild, and it is in the shade called What Shady Beaches. This has more of that sheeny texture to it, but when it blends onto the skin, this is so beautiful. And I think out of the bronzers that I'm going to show you guys today, this is the warmest out of the lot, but in the summertime this looks stunning. As you guys can see, this is more lighter, but it is much more warmer than the other two, but it looks stunning, absolutely stunning on my face. I've done a video where I'm doing everything from like drugstore under $10, and I think this was under $5, and this is beautiful. I mean, you have to trust me on this. I cannot describe each and every bronzer in a different way, but the undertone is more on the warmer side, and if you are looking for a bronzer from the drugstore which has a warmer undertone, I think you'll absolutely love this. It blends very nicely on the skin, and it's very buildable too. Now let's move on to the OG bronzer that everybody loves, and I cannot stop using, and it is again from the drugstore, and it is from Physicians Formula, and it is their butter bronzer, and this one is in the shade bronzer. You guys can see a huge dent in it, and that's because I love it. Now this bronzer shade is perfect on me. I absolutely love it. It's not warm, it's not cool, it's very nice. It appears to be very light in a swatch, so I don't know how much can you guys see it, but on the face it's stunning. This is in the shade deep bronzer. Look at that. It looks so much more light, but it is stunning on the face. It absolutely shows up on my face, so you don't have to worry. Even on my tan skin, it definitely shows up. I love that product. It has been a cult favorite for a reason, and that's why I really wanted to mention it, because I love it so much. You guys can clearly see because of the dent. But yes, beautiful bronzer. It has a very nice sheen. It is very buildable. The undertone is perfect with like a mixture of warm as well as cool. It's a very neutral tone bronzer. I absolutely love it. The last powder bronzer that I have to recommend to you guys is from Glowish, and it is from Huda Beauty, and this one is in the shade 03 Tan Light. Now this is more on the cooler side, and this is the bronzer that I'm wearing on my face today. And you will clearly see the cool undertone of this bronzer as compared to the other bronzer. So let me just build it up. And it is a very like a satin kind of a bronzer. It's a very sheeny bronzer, but it gives like a very soft matte finish on the skin. As you guys can see, this is much more cooler than the other bronzers in my collection. So if I want to like contour my face but also bronze it, I really love this one. And you guys can see it on my face how seamlessly it just blends onto each other. I do have like a cream bronzer also underneath that, which I'll come to later in the video. But yes, those were my top 5 recommendations for powder bronzers. Now let's move on to the cream bronzers. The first cream bronzer that I have to recommend you guys, if you guys have not tested out Half Caked Beauty, you have to, because you would absolutely love if you like a cream bronzer. Look at the dent that I've made, and I test so many products and I love this for a reason. This one is in the shade North Shore. It seems very deep in the pan, and it is very balmy too, but the way it blends is unlike other. Look how deep and dark it shows, but it blends so beautifully and so seamlessly on the skin. It's stunning. You need to try this if you are more on the cream bronzer kind of a person. You would not be disappointed. I only do not like the packaging of it. It seems very childish, and I've mentioned it quite a few times, but the formula of this bronzer is stunning. Now let's move on to the other cream bronzer, which I tested out like earlier in this year, and I cannot stop using this again, is from Soul Body, and this is their Soul Face and Body Cream Bronzer in the shade Dark. Now I personally feel that you can also use the shade like medium dark if you are of my skin tone. This is definitely a slight bit of a darker undertone, but I do not mind this in the summer season at all. This is so blendable, and this is not of a balmy consistency. It's a very creamy bronzer, but it again blends beautifully on the skin, and the undertone is very neutral, as you guys can see. I love this. It's super creamy, super buildable. You do not need a lot to build this product on your skin, and it's just stunning on the face. If you guys have not tested Soul Face and Body Cream Bronzers, you definitely need to test this out. And you get so much of a product inside this. This is like what, 31 grams? Yeah, you get like 31 grams in this product, but this is stunning. Absolutely a requirement in your collection if you do like cream bronzers. Now let's move on to another cream bronzer. It's more in a stick format, and this is from Wet n Wild, and this is their Wet n Wild contouring stick in the shade Call Me Maple. I have been using this, not this particular one, but I have been using this product for about 4 years now, and I've purchased so many of this in my collection. As you guys can see, it is more on like a very neutral, cool toned bronzer. It is more on the contouring stick, but this performs and blends so seamlessly on my face. I cannot even tell you. Like, look at that. It's such a beautiful product, and you need to try this. This is like under $5, and it is absolutely beautiful on the face. If you have not tried it already, you need to try it. You would absolutely go bananas over it. I take my word on it. Now let's move on to a cream bronzer which is very skin-like. It is very lightweight. It is very apt for a daily use, and this is my e.l.f.'s Putty Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Golden Days. if you are my skin tone and if you like more of a golden undertone bronzer, you would absolutely love it. And this is how the product comes in. The only thing that I do not like is the small pan. I mean, I cannot swatch it without like dunking my nail in it, which is one thing that I really do not like. Now this one is very sheer. As you guys can see, this is very skin-like. It's super blendable and it is very natural on the skin. This one, I absolutely love the undertone, and it is so good for like every day. When I'm like going to the office, I generally do wear this because it's not that harsh and it does give like that bronzed effect also on my skin, and I absolutely love the undertone of it. So for that reason, if you are looking for an affordable, very affordable, I think this was like $6, very affordable cream bronzer, which you want it to look more like a natural skin kind of effect, you would absolutely love it. Now the last cream bronzer that I have to recommend to you guys is a high-end bronzer. It's very new in my collection, very new as in it's been like 2 months that I have owned it, and I have loved it ever since. This is the bronzer that I am wearing underneath my glowish bronzer, and this is from M Cosmetics, and this is their multi-face play stick in the shade Nomadic. Now this is the most deepest out of the lot that I have in my collection, so I do apply it a very light amount, but the face plays only come in like 4 shades, out of which when I bought the shade Summer, it was not apt for me because it was more of my tan shade, so it didn't show up on my face. But this shade is beautiful on my skin, but you need like the tiniest little bit and it would give such a beautiful bronzed effect on your face. I cannot even tell you. All these bronzers are absolutely stunning. It's best of the best in my collection, so for that reason I absolutely love this. This has been ranked my #1 for the month of August, and for a reason, because it's that blendable, it's so buildable, and you need like the tiniest little bit. This one would last me a long time, I know that. So those were my recommendations for my bronzers. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Tell me in the comment section below which is your favorite bronzer that is like your go-to and you cannot stop wearing it. I would check it out for myself if I do not have it in my collection. But yes, that's all for today. If you did like this video, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!